found considerable waste, fraud, and abuse, in particular within USAID. Among the things they discovered that the previous administration was spending money on were $1.5 million for advancing DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million for tourism in Egypt, paying for, quote, hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al-Qaeda-affiliated fighters in Syria, for the production of opium, the primary ingredient in heroin, in Afghanistan, which chiefly benefited the Taliban. $1 million to help disabled people in Tajikistan become, quote, climate leaders. $1 million to a Hamas-linked charity, and $15 million for contraceptives and condoms in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. President Trump and the American people for thinking these expenditures are unnecessary and wasteful.
Post reports a federal contracting officer and 3 businessmen pleaded guilty Thursday to participating in a $550 million bribery scheme involving embattled U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. Roderick Watson of Maryland is alleged to have received bribes valued in excess of $1 million while working at USAID in exchange for using his position as a trusted overseer of taxpayer money to direct 14 prime federal contracts to 2 consulting companies, Aprio and Vista. 57-year-old Watson pleaded guilty to bribery.
These politicians are normal people because we see them on TV all the time. We make them celebrities, but they just are normal people. They come from the same communities as everyone else. They got a great opportunity because they went to college. But if you use your knowledge for evil instead of good, different than the person you left in the hood. But the politicians and the celebrities be so far removed from their community. They don't understand that God always gives second chances, third chances, fourth chances. How many chances does it take for you to understand that he loves you? So when they use their credentials to get government contracts by taking taxpayers' money for their own gain and fortune, all demographics are involved in this foolishness. So you might think you're not hood, but I'm here to let you know you never left gangster.
To bribery of a public official and faces up to 15 years in prison. He's scheduled to be sentenced in October. Now, y'all, let's see what this scheme entailed. As part of the elaborate scheme, Walter Barnes, owner of Viston, and Daryl Brick, owner of Aprio, used Paul Young, the president of a subcontractor used by both Viston and Aprio, as a middleman to conceal some of the bribes destined for Watson. All right, y'all, try to understand that if you will. The scheme dates back to 2013 when Watson, working as a USAID contracting officer, agreed to use his influence at the government agency to steer contracts to Brick's Aprio firms in exchange for bribes, according to the DOJ. Brick's company had been eligible for lucrative federal contracts as a designated socially and economically disadvantaged business by the SBA, Small Business Administration. When Aprio graduated from the SBA 8 program, the scheme shifted and Watson began awarding contracts to Barnes' Vistant company, an Aprio subcontractor, between 2018 and 2022, in exchange for bribes, of course. The USAID official received, quote, cash, laptops, thousands of dollars in tickets to a suite at an NBA game, a country club wedding, down payments on 2 residential mortgages, cell phones, and jobs for relatives from the 3 businessmen as part of the scheme. Shell companies, fake invoices, and fraudulent payroll sheets were all used to hide the corruption, according to the DOJ. So, y'all, this is how some of, probably a lot of, our tax dollars are being used. And frankly, this is just one of many USAID